Our next program, we've asked our
Do-do. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Morning Inspirations. It's part 2 of The Girl I Was, Made It. We are going to be looking at the fact that as women, we can, we will, and we do. We can, we will, and we do. We are amazing as women. We can do so many fabulous, fabulous, fabulous things. And so today on Morning Inspirations, I'm bringing you part 2 of Mama Maya's interview. And we're going to be looking at her for the rest of this week because this, as I said, the embodiment of her work is so vast and so absolutely amazing that you gotta like stand back and be like, whoa, and so inspiring, consistently inspiring. She has been gone for many years now, but she still nonetheless speaks to us and lets us know that we can, we will, and we absolutely should. We can, we will, and we should. We should keep it moving. We should make sure we're making a difference. We should be affecting our world with change. And the change is our attitude. The change is our embodiment of our empowerment, especially as women. And it's Women's Month. Man, I'm loving you. I really am. But we got a month, right? Personally, I feel we should have longer. And I don't feel there should be things that are infringing on the month. Right? So there's lots of other things that are going to be popping up this month that we've got. So we're having to share our month. But it's okay. We'll share our month with other occasions because that's just how fabulous we are. We're just those kind of humans. We're just amazing. So sure, we'll share. No problem. We will share our month. But without further ado, my name is Lizzie Morris and I'm your host for Morning Inspirations. And I'm here wanting to give you a sprinkle of inspiration, just a little sprinkle of inspiration so that you can go ahead and be inspired and inspire others. And this month, I'm pushing on my main avatar, as we would say, or persona as a product owner, being women this month, empowering women to know they can be anything and everything that they choose. Because you know what? We're just that kind of brilliant, period. So our meditation, which we start every show with meditating and being grateful, we are going to be grateful for the fact that we are here, grateful that we are women, grateful that we're all breathing and we're living. We are still here to do another day. We're here able to tap into our laptops, able to get into all of our platforms and do this thing called life and our careers. We are able to do it. And that is something to be grateful for. And even if you got up on this Wednesday and you were kind of a little bit on the Wednesday, just 2 more days. Once I get past Wednesday, 2 more days and I got the weekend. If you're there, I want you to definitely come into this gratitude meditation with me and embrace this moment. Don't try to fast forward past it. Embrace it. Sit in this moment and allow this moment to be so filled with gratitude that the rest of your day just kind of slides through, that you're able to have that smile on your face regardless, right, of what is going on. You've kind of found your own little flow, and that flow is empowered by gratitude. So let's begin to be grateful. And we're starting with thinking about our fabulous women. We're being grateful for the fact that as women, we are here. We're smiling. We're with you. We're being here. Every day is a brand new increment, a brand new opportunity for us to ignite in gratitude, a brand new opportunity for us to simply say to the day, I'm grateful. I'm taking this moment to be thankful and just to sit in gratitude. Yes, I am grateful. Yesterday, my choice is gratitude. I'm choosing today to be grateful. I am being grateful for women everywhere. I'm sitting in gratitude. Yes, I am grateful. I choose to be grateful this morning. I choose to be grateful for the fact that I am. I choose to be grateful for the fact that I am being. Not that I was, but that I am being. That I'm here in this moment, on this platform, able to inspire you to be grateful. I'm grateful that women everywhere are finding each other and they're coming together and they're recognizing when they fail each other as women and they're choosing to make it right so that the tomorrow is filled with celebrations. So we're grateful even for the time when we have to cry. We're grateful even for the days when we've experienced pain, because that enables us to celebrate tomorrow so much more. It enables us to come together regardless of what we look like and be women. Let's just be grateful today. Be grateful for all the lessons the past has for us. Take those lessons. We're not taking the judgment, but we're taking the lessons. And we're allowing those lessons to make us better. It's a choice that we're making. To be grateful and to be kind. Now, you may say, well, Lizzie, why did you come in with be kind? Because it's one thing to be grateful. But if you have no kindness as a result of the fact that you are pulling gratitude into yourself and you're embracing it, then we got something that's gone a little bit wrong. Kindness comes with gratitude because you're able to see all the beauty and the wonder that is around you in every human being, and in every circumstance you're able to see the beauty in every circumstance. You can look and say, oh wow, look at this. That's what gratitude does. It allows you to embrace the moments that are around you and see those moments as special in their own unique right. That's the wonderful thing about when we allow ourselves to be grateful. Inspiration just comes out of that. It's like gratitude becomes this fabulous platform that just shows you lots and lots and lots and lots of things that you can be grateful for. It's amazing how it does that. Now, without further ado, let's go back to Mama Maya. But prior to that, I am going to give you an affirmation for today as women that you can embrace and you can just take. I call it Wednesday's Woman. And I've already posted it on LinkedIn. Yes, I was a little ahead of myself and I put it out there this morning. Here it is. I am a Wednesday woman. Wednesday, I welcome the wonderful woman that is me. Wednesday, I welcome the memories that remind me of where I have been. Wednesday, I welcome the humps in the path. And yes, as a Wednesday woman, I always have a comeback. Wonderful Wednesday, take a bow. I'm a wonderful Wednesday woman. Yes, I embrace my wow. Look at where I am. Look at what I am. Look at who I am. I am a wonderful Wednesday woman. That is out there on LinkedIn. Share it with a woman you know and say, hey there, wonderful Wednesday woman, I want to celebrate you and celebrate that wonderful Wednesday woman that is out there. Celebrate her, let her know she is amazing. So this Wednesday, when she hits the hump, she's not seeing it as a hump. She's just seeing it as part of the path. And she's welcoming her great comeback. Let me introduce you now to those of you who don't know who Maya Angelou is. Fair enough. That's okay. No judgment. Maya Angelou was born Margarita Annie Johnson, April 4th, 1928. Died May 28th, 2014. She made this statement: the best there is to have is the best for me. And that really embodied everything that she did. This drive that she had to make change was all about the fact that she really believed the best was there for her. And just as it was there for her, she wanted to see it for others too. Now, she did an interview back in 1983 that I am about to share with you the second part. So they brought her back for an encore. Her story was just too amazing that one show wouldn't do it. They brought her back and said, no, you've got to come back. We need to do more, hear more from who you are, this brilliance that is you. So let me share with you the second part of that interview. The first part I shared yesterday. So if you didn't watch yesterday's, go back, go watch it, so that you can see what we're talking about.
Our guest to return, an encore with Maya Angelou.
This has been One on One, a pre-recorded presentation of ABC News. From ABC News, this is One on One with Greg Jackson and his guest Maya Angelou.
We continue with Maya Angelou. Earlier, she told us about growing up in a small southern town, about being raped at the age of 7, and later as a teenager working briefly in a brothel. But she went on to become a performer, a poet, and a world-famous writer. How did she do it? We go on with our conversation.
Billie Holiday told me that I was going to be famous. She said I wouldn't be famous for singing. It was obvious. But she said, you're going to be famous. But remember, you can't get so high, somebody won't try to bring you down. So, what my great aspiration, my greatest ambition is to be so good. Now, in that way, I'm tiresome, as I suppose, to live with, because I want to be a fantastic human being. But let me come back to a question you asked about getting over a rape. No one ever, as far as I know.
I hope it didn't sound that foolish. I didn't mean to say you get over it.
I know what you mean.
Okay.
I do know what you mean. And many people who have not gone through it, even if someone in their families have had this violation, they cannot know how desolate the affront leaves the victim. Absolutely desolate. And now, at this age, which is what the French call a certain age,
Your current age.
my current age, I suppose, the most read black female writer in the world. My books are required reading at every university or college in this country. I speak 7 languages. I'm a Chubb Fellow at Yale University. And I think at present I have about 17 honorary doctorates. I have the Reynolds Chair at Wake Forest University.
As a professor.
I'm a professor at Wake Forest.
Which, ironically enough, is in the South.
Yes, sir.
Go on.
With all that, saying that, and I'm financially secure, saying that there isn't one day of my life that I haven't thought about it. Not one. I have had to use an incredible amount of energy to keep balance in my life. Incredible amount. If I hadn't had to do that, I might have written 10 more books or 5 more films. I don't know. So, okay, next. Go on. Next.
Let me pause that right there. Now, amidst all of her accolades, and there are many, you heard all those accolades, and those of you who heard the story from yesterday understand where she came from, the fact that after going through that trauma, and there are so many women today who have trauma that they don't necessarily articulate or let people know about. I call them the hidden scars that nobody sees. And yet, with the trauma, they're able still to achieve so much. Because women, for so many years, even today, we're still not seen always as equal. And when crimes are done to us, it is still very hard for us to get justice as women. So every woman has to carry that if something happens to you, somebody may not stand in your corner. They may have the audacity to tell you it was your fault. That's the world, sadly, we still live in, but this world is still spinning. This world is still moving. What does that mean? It means there's still a possibility of change. There's still a possibility for us to show other women, to be there for them, that when these things emerge, they can come to us and we can be truly their allies. We can be there to help them. We can be there to hold their hands. We can be there to wipe their tears. As women, we must come together and support each other in sisterhood, because if we're not there for each other, who will be? And when we think being there for another woman will cost us too much, think of the cost to the future if you're not there for that woman. Think about the women who were there for Mama Maya in her youth, her grandmother and Miss Florence that she talked about. If they had not been there for her, we wouldn't have the gift of who she is today, to inspire us that regardless of where we have begun, the beginning of the story doesn't dictate the ending. And that's an amazing thing. Her life shows us, and so many people's lives show us, the beginning doesn't dictate the ending. The middle doesn't even dictate the ending, because at any point, the characters can change. The plot can change. You can be inspired enough to believe that you can move on and go on, and that can change the ending. So it's always in our hands to decide what our story is truly going to be. Up to you, up to me. Now let's go back to Mama Maya and watch the rest of this interview.
This question.
It's such a leap to be fluent in 7 languages, to be a university professor, to be the most widely read Black woman writer in the world. And at this point, I suppose we're asking, God, how'd she do it?
When I told you I hadn't stopped reading, I think that is...
Lots of people keep reading.
Now, wait, you're not listening. When one reads, if you do, you can truly begin the process of educating yourself, not just about the who's and where's and at what time and the sites, but really to understand who one is. That is the value.
I suppose we're so accomplishment-oriented, one has to make that first step, where you said, I am not anybody's lackey. I am Maya, who is going to go on to what you've accomplished.
Well, I didn't think that. I thought I was going to become a very successful real estate broker. I really did. I wanted to have a suit, gabardine, snakeskin shoes, a snakeskin purse, light beige or white gloves, which you never really put on, you just sort of held them, and a briefcase. I hadn't the faintest idea of real estate, but I saw myself as this executive.
You said something else once, that one needs noble heroes. Was that your
Heroes
grandmother?
and sheroes.
And sheroes.
Yes.
Was that your grandmother?
Yes, my grandmother.
Can one succeed without?
I don't know. I don't know if the hero or shero has to be a human being. It can be a great idea. It can be a gesture. It can be a literature, which is a hero, shero. It can be music. It can be art, painting.
There must be the other side of you. We've seen that highly accomplished and one who overcame obvious setbacks.
Still am overcoming.
On the other hand, my instincts would tell me you'd be a tough person to live with, I think.
I want to bring to everybody's attention, and he totally skipped that. She said this: amidst all of her accolades, she is still overcoming. And I have to, in that point, bring in our Agile Manifesto, where it says we are uncovering better ways of doing and being, right? As accomplished as Maya Angelou was in 1983, because that interview is 1983, and she is, I believe, 55. She said, I am still overcoming. What does that mean? As women, as humans, there are always going to be things on our path that are going to come, and it is up to us not to give up. We must still be willing to go through them, take the lessons from them, so that we can be overcoming. Not overcome, no, but overcoming. Those are just like a couple of words, letters that are a little bit different from being overcome to overcoming, but we can be overcoming. And as women, if we come together and we unite and we support each other, we definitely can keep inspiring each other to overcome whatever is in our way. And understand there's going to be something new that's going to show up. It always does, but it's okay. We've learned from what we've gone through before. So having to go through something else, those lessons, those muscles that we've built from the past experiences, the past pains, those scar tissue that is healed has covered now and given us strength to be able to go head on things. So you still can achieve more than you've ever achieved before, because of what you've achieved before. So you still can go on to achieve more than you ever have, period, ever have, because of everything you've already gone through before. So your past, even though it has pain, is a propeller and a path for your progress. Ladies, it is. It is. Let's go back to the interview.
You know, I suspect that your strong-willed would be an understatement.
I don't think so. I don't think
How many husbands have you?
enough for the time being.
Is there going to be a more?
Are you asking?
Well, I don't mean to be cheeky, but
I mean,
I guess I am.
Oh, I see. Are you asking me directly?
I guess I was asking not just voyeuristically, but how it would affect. Can one live like yourself with all the professions? What happens when you write, for example? I read somewhere was it your mother who said, when Maya starts to write, she becomes obsessed with it?
Well, I suppose I did. I don't know about obsessed. I don't think my mother would say that. But I go away. I keep a hotel room.
Really?
I keep a hotel room, and I leave for it about 6 o'clock in the morning, and I go into it. I try to be at work by 7. I keep a dictionary, Roget's Thesaurus, a Bible, cigarettes, bottle of sherry, and playing cards. And I stay in there until 12:30, writing, longhand. If the work is going well, I'll stay longer. But if it's going horribly, I don't leave. Now,
It's mostly about your own life, your past, by and large.
well, whatever I'm writing, I mean, I may be writing a screenplay, but I go to work. Hawthorne says easy reading is damn hard writing. So I go to work. I realize it is work that I'm going to. This is not, I'm waiting for the light bulb to go off over my head so dig like I can feel where I'm coming. I don't do that. I go to work. Now, when I was married, I would get home and wash, because when you write, you sweat. It's hard work. And see that the house is lovely and fresh flowers, and I'm a cook. That is my hobby. So I would prepare for dinner, change, and be looking nice, I hope, when my husband would return, and try to be present with him, try to be existential. Now, it is true that a part of our mind is, pulling off that way, but I don't think I'm hard to live with.
Your book, in Cage Birds, you always describe as Negro. You didn't say black.
Well, but that was talking about a time when Negro was fashionable. We have gone through many titles: Negro, colored, Afro-American, So I was writing about a time when black people were called Negroes.
But when you think of Mrs. Flowers, black. Isn't it curious that our discussion revolves so much around white and black? You named all of those degrees of color. But in fact, in terms of accomplishment, it doesn't have anything to do with it. If it isn't the mind and there's no talent, nothing means anything.
Well, I tell you, if you take two people, if they both start at the same place and elevate, ascend, then you can say, that's all the same thing. But if you take a person who has been here and one who has started here, there's a difference. There's a world of difference, because you think to yourself, listen, had you come from as far as I've come, you should be president of the world, my dear.
I'm not so sure you're not going to be.
No. You see what I mean, though? That's what makes one has to see the relative.
You're saying down there you're female, you're black, and from the rural South.
That's right.
Can't start much lower, is that what you're saying?
It's hard to, I might have been Spanish speaking.
Is there the slightest possibility? The white folks, myself, can truly understand the black experience.
Oh, I think to the degree that it's necessary to understand.
Well, you once said that black folks should play white folks in plays, because you've been studying white folks for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
But that the white folks don't understand,
Very seldom have had to. You see, it's like the Cockneys in Britain, in England in particular. The aristocrats and the upper class and the upper middle class control so much of life that the Cockney developed a way of watching that person and can imitate him to a fine degree. One has only to see the current, look at Finney or some of the current English actors who can imitate the upper class and upper middle class to a degree so finely honed that they can put it over. For blacks in this country, for centuries, the wave of a white woman's hand might reveal that she is getting ready to sell one's children, or a frown on a white man's face could mean in a moment you're about to be flogged. So people learn to watch.
There's a poem about facing always with a grin.
Oh, when I think about myself.
Is that the story of your life? The face that...
Well, people laughed, had to learn to laugh when they weren't tickled and to scratch when they didn't itch.
Black folks did.
Black folks did.
Have you ever considered, this may just sound ludicrously simple, but why do white folks, where you grew up, how could they and why would they hate somebody like your grandmother? Why would they hate black people?
Because they're frightened.
Why? You didn't have guns.
I know, but people are afraid, for one thing, that basically, people are afraid to die. That is basic. I'm coming to it. Let me explain. Basically, people are afraid to die. So they clutch to something which they think will preserve their lives. So they try to guarantee happiness to themselves by shunting dirt and misery off on someone else. That's Sterling Brown. Sterling Brown's poem, The Strong Man. People feel if I can keep them out of this building, them off this street, them out of this employment line, I'll live a little longer. They don't think it consciously, but that is fundamental. People are afraid to be pried loose from their ignorance because they know their ignorance so well, they know it better than they know their body odors. And if you say, come on, give up your ignorance, they get into that terrible position, terrifying position which Shakespeare talks about at the end of the soliloquy, Hamlet's soliloquy. They'd rather bear the ills they have than fly to others that they know not of. Thus conscience doth make cowards of us all. So they are cowardly.
As a 8 or 9, 10-year-old mute black girl in Arkansas, you surely didn't know all that. What did you think of black and white at the time? What did you think of white folks?
I didn't think they were real. I didn't think they were real people.
Really?
I thought they were white folks.
What?
I thought they were white folks.
What do you mean? You didn't think they were real? You don't think they had arms and legs?
Oh, no, they had arms and legs, but they didn't have innards like other people. I thought if you put your hand on a white person, it would go right through.
No.
I promise you. They were white folks. We were people.
You were that distant from them? I mean,
absolutely.
Well, I mean, you lived scarcely 300 yards apart in some respects.
Oh, and my grandmother owned the land most of them lived on. But they weren't real. I mean, they were so rude. Nice people like us. I mean, we were the real folks. People said, evening. How you doing? Fine, thank you. I sure appreciate it. Yes, ma'am.
But not white folks?
White folks, no. And they'd come into the store and act as if they had credit and order my crippled uncle around, you know. So I knew that if they were real people, they'd be nice.
You returned after all of this time. You've returned to the South. I presume to live there forever. Back to North Carolina. I mean, you've gone to North Carolina. You said Wake Forest. I would think, were I you, and obviously I don't understand anything, that'd be the last place I'd go back to is the South.
Really?
Well, you wrote of it as such pain and heaping such indignities on blacks in general and you in particular.
Yes, but there's very little difference, really. I mean, between Atlanta and New York. John Killen says Atlanta's down south, New York is up south. You know.
It wasn't a big step to go home to the South for you?
It was big, but I have not exchanged anything. I bought a really lovely house with about 40 dogwood trees and pecan trees and oaks. And
do you ever think you'd be living like that in the South? I mean, in your wildest imagination early on as a teenager?
As a teenager, I was going to be this successful real estate broker. Of course I would live like that. My mother, I grew up in a 14-room house, so why shouldn't I? Once I understood that
14-room rooming house.
well, she rented out some rooms upstairs, but it was her house, 14 rooms.
This is in San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
I've long believed that the best there is to have is the best for me. And I believe that the best there is to be is the best for me. I'd like to be the very best.
Someone.
Can we say that to ourselves, and can we say that out loud? That I'd like to be the very best? Not for the sense of competing with anybody else, but from the sense of understanding that we, women, can just simply be the very best we can be. So to close out today, so I didn't totally close that. I know I didn't totally close that out. So we're going to come back tomorrow and watch the rest of it. But what I do want to close us out on is one of the works she's done that is a favorite of mine, The Still I Rise, because I think that speaks so much to us as women, that we are still, regardless of what's going on, we are still going to rise above everything. We will still find our feet. And if we can't find our feet, we'll find a ladder, whatever it takes, but we're still going to rise. Let's listen to her.
In history, with your bitter, twisted lies, you may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Just because I walk as if I have oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my sassiness upset you? Don't take it so hard just because I laugh, as if I have gold mines digging in my own backyard. You can shoot me with your words, you can cut me with your lies, you can kill me with your hatefulness, but just like life, I rise. Does my sexiness offend you? Oh. Does it come as a surprise that I dance? As if I have diamonds at the meeting of my thighs. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain, I rise. A black ocean leaping and wild, welling and swelling and bearing in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak miraculously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so, wow. There I go.
We have been blessed with so many stories of people who have lived and gone on before. And there was something poignant she said about when you read. She said, when you read, you get to know your own soul. You get to know who you are when you're reading versus just who the person was who wrote whatever it is you're reading. So education is the knowing of oneself by finding oneself in somebody else's words and finding the way you articulate and you receive what it is they've written. So I challenge us today on this fabulous, wonderful Wednesday to see what it is we can become and to dream to a place we haven't yet won. And why do I say dream to a place we haven't yet won? As women, there is a place we see ourselves, a place we aspire to be at. We're not there yet. We haven't won those battles. We haven't won those wars. But it doesn't mean we don't continue to fight. And our fight isn't one with guns. It's one with tenacity. It's one with law. It's one with making sure we choose to challenge the status quo. So it no longer becomes the status quo. It gets removed. Today, I'll give you the story. Today, I was messing around with my computers because they haven't been doing quite the way I want them to do. And it wouldn't turn off and it wouldn't reset. So I pressed the button. I did a hard reset. Sometimes that's what we're going to have to do to shift what is the status quo. We're going to have to do a hard reset. But if we come together, that button that seems so large of the system, we can push it, do a hard reset and say, we are going to create a new tomorrow beginning today. Because we can't wait till tomorrow to make the new tomorrow. The seeds of the new tomorrow begin with the things we do today. So what are you willing to do, dear lady, to make tomorrow better for you and everybody who looks like you? And what are you willing to do today, dear gentlemen, to make a better today for the daughters that could come in your line so that they don't have the struggle that we've experienced and those behind us have? What are you going to do today to make it different? I leave you with that challenge. I would like to thank you all for joining me as we did this exploration of Mama Maya, and we just brought her into the Morning Inspiration Show to listen to her and to listen to her journey and to understand her journey didn't end. And today she journeys with us as a little whisper. She's there in a book. She's there on YouTube to inspire us when we feel we can't, when we look at ourselves as humanity and we kind of frown at some of the things that we do in our behavior. We can go and find her and ask her advice and take that advice and utilize it to make our tomorrow from today that much better. So I'm going to ask you to tweet. I'm going to ask you to tweet. I'm going to ask you to tweet, my little girl survived. The girl I was made it. Tweet that. Along with our regular tweet of my humanity is beautiful, your humanity is beautiful. Our humanity is beautiful. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow as we continue to look at Maya Angelou and we allow her voice to inspire us to be the best human we can be, the best human we can be, not just the best woman, not just the best man, the best human we can be. However, we're defining the label of that, but at the core, our aspiration to be the best human we can possibly be today to make a better humanity for tomorrow. Thank you guys for joining me. Have a wonderful day and go ahead and do something to make tomorrow better.